My goodness, it just was not a comfortable day. And if you agree with me, you're really not going to like tomorrow's weather. It's going to be downright cold. There goes that cold front. And in true fashion, it's going to get just downright chilly out there tomorrow morning. There's sunrise temperatures, 7 o'clock. Look at this. We're down to 23 in places like Rogers and Bella Vista, 24 from Huntsville through Bentonville, 25 in Fayetteville. Meanwhile, here in the River Valley, we got a lot of 29s out there, places like Fort Smith, Sallisaw, and Van Buren. Meanwhile, there are some locations where we get a little bit more elevation of the Ouachitas. We could be in those 28s there in Poteau, Waldron. It's going to be a cold day overall. Highs in the upper 30s, low 40s area wide. And that cold air is going to be in place on Monday as a weak storm system moves through. And I want to underscore that it's a weak system that has the potential of a light wintry mix. Overall, it's not going to be a significant winter storm. I want to be really clear with you on that. While there are a lot of unknowns that remain in the forecast, what I do know with a high degree of confidence, this is not going to be a widespread, impactful winter storm. There could be some very small minor impacts, and we'll walk through the latest there. There's not going to be a lot of moisture available for the storm system to work with, and our temperatures are going to be marginal. And when I say marginal, I mean they're going to be within 2 or 3 degrees of that freezing point. And of course, that can mean significant changes to whether we see a cold rain or a cold rain that transitions over into something else. At any rate, being that the moisture is so limited, and it is a relatively weak system that's moving somewhat quickly, accumulations, if any at all, are going to be somewhat minimal at best. Let me walk you through a couple of different scenarios here. I don't think either one's perfect. I'm illustrating just the level of uncertainty that remains in this forecast. This is scenario number 1, 8 o'clock Monday morning. Temperatures, yeah, they're cold out there, but precipitation really holds off until late morning, early afternoon. And it's a bit of a mixed bag, very spotty, very scattered. Later in the afternoon into the evening, we might see a few more snow showers in far northwest Arkansas, where temperatures will be a little bit more favorable for some of those snow showers to pass through. Mix elsewhere. Generally speaking, north of Interstate 40 has the better odds of some snow, according to scenario number 1. Again, I don't think it's perfect, but it's one of the possibilities that may happen on Monday. Meanwhile, the further south you go, you do find a little bit more sleet mixing in the Ouachitas, where those temperatures might be a little bit more supportive there. Now, you go into later in the evening, into the overnight hours, that rain and that sleet and snow, whatever's happening out there, is going to be pushing off towards the east, likely right around that midnight hour going into Tuesday morning. And kind of see how things transition more to a snow north of Interstate 40 as the sun sets and those temperatures cool off a little bit more. Here's scenario number 2. It holds off the precipitation until much later in the afternoon into the evening. Initially, a cold rain in the Ouachitas beginning to transition over into a mix of some sleet, maybe some snow showers, maybe a thin glaze of some freezing rain as well. It does not have as much moisture moving through the area. Yeah, there could be a burst of some snow showers late Monday evening, according to this scenario, but that's somewhat in question too. So there's still a lot of uncertainty. That's the point. There is neither scenario, neither model is perfect. There are a lot of differences, but even with the differences accounted for, it really looks like this will start as a mix in northwest Arkansas, translating to some spotty snow showers, generally north of Interstate 40. South of the interstate, though, a bit more of a mix. Now, in terms of accumulations, if there's any snow accumulations, it'll be less than a half inch, probably closer to a tenth. A quarter of an inch. We're talking a dusting in practical terms. In terms of freezing rain potential, which is going to be higher further towards the south, I think generally a tenth of an inch or so, which is relatively minor. This officially is called the Winter Storm Severity Index, but you know me, I'm a hillbilly from the river bottoms. I like to think of this as that how big of a pain in the rear end is this going to be? Math. How big of a pain in the rear end is this going to be, you ask? Minor. It's overall not necessarily a huge deal. There will probably be a few slick spots out there, a few, not many, and it's likely going to be confined to those higher elevations and the bridges and the overpasses. You know, those things that go first. I think we're going to be in generally good shape out there. Here's that 7-day forecast for you. 30% chance of that light mix on Monday. I don't think everybody sees the precipitation because the moisture is going to be so limited. We'll slowly warm up to 49 on Wednesday, but at that point we get another cold front to slide through, and that's going to result in temperatures dropping down into the low 40s Thursday and Friday. A little bit better chance of some rain come Friday of the upcoming work week. In the River Valley, 43 are high on Sunday. By Monday, we will not make it out of the 30s. That chance of a light wintry precip there at 30% as well. Sunshine returns Tuesday, Wednesday, back in the low 50s the middle part of the week, followed by another drop in those temps down into the 40s Thursday and Friday.